Imagine two people, same city, same age, same job title, same salary. Let's say $75,000 a year. 5 years later, one of them has $40,000 saved, a growing investment account, and is seriously talking about buying their first rental property. The other one, living paycheck to paycheck, credit card balance creeping up every month, secretly stressed every time an unexpected bill shows up, same income, completely different financial lives. And here's the thing that almost nobody talks about. The second person isn't lazy. They're not irresponsible. They're not bad with numbers. In fact, they probably work just as hard, maybe even harder. They just never figured out the one thing that separates people who build wealth from people who just earn money and watch it disappear. And that one thing has nothing to do with how much you make. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, the way you think about your salary is going to be completely different. Growing up, most of us were given a very simple financial roadmap. Study hard, get a good job, earn a good salary, and everything will work out. So we followed the map, we did the work, we landed the job, we started earning real money for the first time in our lives. And for a moment, it felt like we had figured it out. But then something weird happens. You get the salary, and then you get the lifestyle that matches the salary. The nicer apartment because you can finally afford it. The car upgrade because the old one felt embarrassing in the work parking lot. The weekend dinners out because you worked hard all week and you deserve it. The subscriptions, the gym membership, the vacations on a credit card because you're going to pay it back. You always do. And before you know it, your $75,000 salary feels exactly like your old $45,000 salary. Tight, stressful, never quite enough. You're earning more than you ever have, and somehow still broke. This isn't a rare situation. This is one of the most common financial traps in the modern world, and it has a name. But before I get into that, if you're new here, welcome to Average to Affluent. This channel exists for one reason: to give you the money knowledge that school never did. Simple, honest, no fluff. If that sounds like something you need, hit subscribe. We put out new videos every week, and I promise you, every single one is worth your time. Now, back to the trap. Economists call it lifestyle inflation. But I want you to think of it differently. Think of it as an invisible tax on your raise. Here's how it works. Every time your income goes up, your brain does something very natural. It recalibrates what normal looks like. What used to feel like a luxury, getting takeout twice a week, driving a newer car, buying the premium version of things, starts to feel like just the standard, the baseline, the minimum acceptable level of living. And once something becomes your baseline, giving it up feels like a loss, not a financial decision, an emotional one. This is where psychology takes over from math. There's a concept in behavioral economics called hedonic adaptation. It basically means humans are incredibly good at adjusting to new circumstances. You get something exciting, a raise, a new car, a nicer apartment, and for a few weeks it genuinely feels amazing. But then your brain normalizes it. The excitement fades. It just becomes your life, your new normal. And because it's your new normal, you don't feel richer, you just feel like you're living the way you're supposed to live. So you need the next thing to feel good again. A bigger apartment, a better car, a nicer phone. And the cycle keeps going. Here's the brutal math behind this. Let's say you were making $50,000 and you get promoted to $75,000. That's a $25,000 increase, an extra $2,000 a month before tax. Most people look at that and think they're about to get ahead financially. But what actually happens is this. The apartment upgrade costs $400 more a month. The car payment adds another $350. Eating out more often takes another $300. A few new subscriptions and memberships add another $150. A few extra online purchases here and there. Call it $200. That's $1,400 a month gone before you've even thought about saving anything. And we're being conservative. In reality, lifestyle creep is sneaky. It happens in small amounts across dozens of tiny decisions, and you don't notice it until you look at your bank account and wonder where everything went. This is why people with good salaries stay broke. Not because they spend recklessly, but because they spend proportionally, and they do it automatically without even realizing it. Now here's where this gets really interesting, and a little uncomfortable. Most of us have been taught to think about money in one direction: earn more, spend more, upgrade your life. The assumption built into that roadmap is that financial progress happens automatically when income goes up. But wealth doesn't work that way. Wealth isn't about how much money flows into your life, it's about how much stays. Think about it like a bucket with holes in the bottom. Most people focus their entire energy on finding ways to pour more water into the bucket, working harder, chasing promotions, picking up side income. But if the holes at the bottom keep growing with every pour, the water level never rises. The holes are your lifestyle expenses. And the uncomfortable truth is, they tend to grow exactly as fast as your income does. Sometimes faster. Now here's the second layer that almost nobody talks about. When your income goes up, there's actually a narrow window, usually just 2 or 3 months, where your expenses haven't caught up yet. Your old habits are still in place. Your old apartment, your old car, your old routine, but you're now earning significantly more. That window is where wealth is built or lost. The people who get ahead financially aren't necessarily earning more than everyone else. They're the ones who figured out, intentionally or by accident, how to keep that gap open, to keep living like they were at $50,000 even when they're earning $75,000, and to put that difference somewhere it can grow. Here's what that looks like in real numbers. If you take that same $25,000 raise and instead of upgrading your lifestyle, you redirect even half of it, $1,000 extra per month, into an investment account that grows at a modest 8% annually. In 20 years, you're looking at well over $590,000. Not because you were a financial genius, not because you got lucky with a stock pick, just because you kept the gap open and let time do the heavy lifting. That's it. That's the whole secret. And this is exactly the kind of insight we break down every week here on Average to Affluent, because understanding how money actually behaves is the first step from where you are to where you want to be. If nobody's sent you this channel before, now's a good time to subscribe. You're going to want to see what's coming next. But back to the big question. If it's this simple, why are so many high earners still financially stuck? Because simple doesn't mean easy. And because keeping that gap open requires something that goes against human nature. Saying no to yourself at the exact moment when you feel like you've finally earned the right to say yes. You just got a raise. You worked hard for it. Your friends are upgrading their apartments. Social media is full of people living larger. The cultural message everywhere is, you've earned this. Enjoy it. And psychologically, cutting back when you earn more feels deeply wrong. It feels like punishment, like you're doing life backwards. This is why financial behavior is so much harder than financial knowledge. Almost everyone knows they should save more. Almost everyone has heard of investing. The knowledge isn't the problem. The behavior is. There's also a social dimension to this that rarely gets discussed. A lot of lifestyle inflation isn't about what you want. It's about what signals you want to send to other people. The car isn't just a car, it's a status marker. The apartment isn't just an apartment. It's how you answer the question, how are things going, without actually saying anything. And keeping up with the visible markers of success while quietly building real wealth, that's socially awkward. It doesn't make for an exciting Instagram story. Nobody posts about quietly maxing out their index fund contributions, but those are the people who retire early. Those are the people who build generational wealth. Those are the ones who look back 20 years later and realize that the gap they kept open, quietly, unglamorously, one paycheck at a time, changed everything. So what do you actually do with this? First, the next time your income goes up, a raise, a bonus, a side income breakthrough, treat it as invisible for at least 90 days. Don't let your spending catch up. Use that window. Even directing 50% of any new income directly to savings or investing before it touches your lifestyle is a massive shift. Second, get honest about what you're actually buying, because most lifestyle inflation isn't happening in big dramatic purchases. It's in the subscriptions you forgot you had. The third streaming platform, the upgraded grocery habits, the delivery fees you pay every other day. Add up your last 90 days of spending, and I promise you'll find several $100s a month that isn't making your life meaningfully better. It's just become background noise. Third, think about the difference between a lifestyle upgrade and a life upgrade. A lifestyle upgrade is a nicer car that impresses people you don't care about. A life upgrade is buying back your time, your freedom, your options. One of those fades, the other compounds. And finally, Get comfortable being boring with money in public. The people who win financially usually don't look like they're winning. They drive average cars, they live in reasonable apartments, they don't talk about money much. But quietly, methodically, they're building something that most people around them will never have. That is the average to affluent mindset in one sentence. Look average on the outside, build affluent on the inside. And if that philosophy speaks to you, please subscribe right now. Every video on this channel is built around that exact idea. Real money principles, no hype, no get rich quick. Just the stuff that actually works, explained simply. Here's the thought I want to leave you with. A higher salary doesn't make you wealthy. It just raises the stakes. It gives you more potential to build wealth and more potential to burn through it without noticing. The real test isn't whether you can earn more. It's whether you can resist the pull to spend more every single time you do. Most people fail that test not because they're weak or irresponsible, but because nobody ever told them the test was happening. Now you know. The gap between what you earn and what you keep is the only number that actually matters. And every paycheck, every raise, every bonus, you get to decide how wide that gap stays. So the question isn't, how do I make more money? The real question is, what are you going to do with the gap? If this video made you think differently about your salary, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to keep going, our next video breaks down exactly how ordinary people build real wealth without earning extraordinary incomes. It's already up on the channel. Go watch it. And we'll see you there on Average to Affluent.